we're going to have more people. So I think what we will be doing now is okay. So we'll say, okay. Does it mean, please, Mr. Simon? I want to ask. I am actually recording this video, but to me, I don't know. It's like once it starts recording, it does. Does it allow? I don't know whether it allows new people to join. Okay, okay. I think it allows because I can actually add
Yes,
people.
it allows.
Okay.
So when someone is in the waiting room, it will notify you. So you
Yes,
being the person coordinating will be the one to let him in, the host.
yes. I've done that. I think it's allowing. That was my concern, so that it doesn't stop people because where it doesn't. I think I have allowed two people now to join. I think I can see Helamada, and okay, that's fine. So what we will be discussing basically today is Q&A. Q&A. It's what we'll be doing today is question and answer session. You understand? Feel free to ask questions. We'll try our best to see how we can answer them within our capacity. And if it is beyond our capacity, we will actually push it to next week so that we'll note down the questions and answer them next week. So please, the floor is open for everybody, please. It's a Q&A session, please. I hope everybody came prepared with this question. This is questions rather, not just one question. I'm expecting a lot of questions.
Good evening. I don't know if we can we start asking because I'm just coming into Port Harcourt and my battery will soon go off. So let me just ask, even if it's one question before I log out.
No problem, Omar. You're welcome.
Okay. Yeah. So what I want to find out is when dealing with a 24-volt solar system, right? And
Yes, sir.
maybe having six 12-volt batteries,
Yes,
maybe
sir.
three set of 24. That's
Yes, sir.
having two in series and three set of parallel connection.
Yes, sir.
So how do one keep the energy draw equal from each of those batteries?
Okay, how does one keep what?
The energy draw, that's like the amperage, At times, if you don't do it very well, you realize that some batteries will have a higher volt, others will have a lower volt. In terms
Yes,
of
I understand. How do you equalize? How do you
equalize
equalize your battery?
yes.
Yes. Umar, it is well noted. Is that the only question, or you still want to ask another one?
Well, before I log out or before my battery goes off, I will still
Mhm.
ask. Let me just ask one first.
Okay. So we're supposed to be having a secretary for this meeting that will be noting, but no worry. Very soon we'll appoint one. But okay. So concerning what Umar just asks, he asked of if you have multiple strings of batteries connected in parallel, how do you equalize them? Actually, when you have a lot of batteries, especially when dealing with batteries like the deep cycle batteries, and you have a lot of batteries in parallel, it is advisable to use what we call a battery equalizer. There is what we call a battery equalizer. What the battery equalizer does is it ensures that uniform current is drawn from each string of the batteries. You understand? It ensures that uniform current is taken from all the strings of the battery, thereby keeping them at equal voltage, or keeping the voltage drop to be equal, to be uniform. So I don't know if that answers your question, Omar. There's what we call a battery equalizer. If you're dealing with lead acid batteries, lead acid batteries are non-intelligent batteries. They don't have a sort of a monitoring system. So the battery equalizer actually acts as a battery monitoring system, especially if you are going to have a lot of batteries in parallel. What it does is it equalizes the amount of it makes uniform the amount of current taken from each string of the battery, and also unifies the voltage drop across those batteries. So I don't know if it answers your question, Umar.
Yes, it has answered my question. Thank you.
Let me see if I can get a picture of a battery equalizer so that we can see how it is. Equalizer. Let me see if I can. Yeah, battery equalizer. I will see. I will. So any other question, please? So I don't know if you're seeing my screen. Is everybody seeing my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
So this is a typical example of a battery
Can you
equalizer.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Hela.
Okay. There is something you
Yeah.
talked about the other day. You say it's
Okay.
BMS,
System. Yeah.
battery monitoring
Mm.
system. Yeah. Is it only used for this battery unit, lithium ion, or for all the batteries, both tubular and what do you call the other one? Dry
No,
cell
you.
battery.
Yeah.
Is it for all types of battery that we must install that
Yeah, let
BMS?
me explain something to you. The BMS in lithium ion, just like I said, the lithium ion is a sort of a complex batteries. The cells in the lithium ion battery are actually complex in nature. So you find out that it's a must. In fact, but lithium ion batteries come uh, pre how do I put it, with BMS pre-installed on them. In fact, you shouldn't use them without the BMS. So, but the BMS is a must for a lithium ion battery. While the lead acid battery, the lead acid battery, like we are talking here now, is in special cases where you have a lot of them parallel together. You understand? Umar talked about different voltages at different voltages at different of on different batteries, uh, when using them. So you see that this battery equalizer happens to be the battery monitoring system in the case of a lead acid battery, but it is not always used. It's only used in a scenario whereby you have a lot of batteries in parallel. You understand? So that it unifies current taken from the batteries in order to equalize the voltage. That's why it's called a battery equalizer. I don't know if it's clear or you need more further explanation.
That means the BMS and the battery equalizer, they are the
They
same
are the
thing.
same thing, but you see, yeah, they are the same thing, Hela. What the BMS does is it equalizes the battery voltage on each cells in the lithium ion battery. You understand my point? So this one also is the same thing. They do the same thing. In fact, Umar is being specific about voltage drop, you understand? Some equalizers even have temperature monitors, you understand, to monitor the temperature of batteries, you understand? So, but the BMS in a lithium ion battery measures voltage across each cells. It also reads the temperature on each cells, you understand? We remember we talked about lithium ion battery being explosive, you understand? It's an explosive battery. That's why the BMS is a must for a lithium ion battery. But in the lead acid battery, it is used in scenarios where you have a lot of batteries in parallel and you need to equalize the current taken from each string of the battery. So I don't know if it's clear, please. Hello? Hello?
Yes, I'm having network glitches here. Just continue. I heard you very well. You say it's a must for the lithium ion battery, while for the rest,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, yes, sir. Okay, it's fine.
maybe
No, I think I can get you, Ella. So
it might.
any other question, please?
Good evening, all.
Good evening, sir.
Please, my question is regarding the capacity of solar panels.
Okay, sir.
Is there any effect or
In
advantage
some cases,
of having, for
where
example,
there
if
are
you
voltage
if
difference.
Sorry, 1 minute. Okay, so yeah. So, Lisa, you can continue.
okay, asking a question regarding solar panel, the sizes, the watts.
Yes, sir.
If, for example, you want to set up a 3 kVA solar panel system, that's for the panels.
Yeah,
Is
3
there any
kilowatt.
advantage of, yes, 3 kilowatts?
Yes,
Is
sir.
there any advantage or any effect of having maybe like 10 pieces of 300 watts panel pieces, or having like 5 pieces of 600 watts? Is there any effect of having less panels with higher wattage, or I don't know if you understand my question,
No, I
or
understand. I
any
understand.
effect?
I understand absolutely. You're talking of, is there any effect if I want to set up a three, I want to set up a kilowatt a kilowatt inverter system, a solar power system. Is there any
Yes.
advantage of me using 300 watts in 10 pieces over
Oh,
6 pieces of 500 watts? Or I understand. Is that what you're
yeah.
saying?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. Actually, so to me, I don't know. I'm just trying to look at. I know. I don't think there's any. It all has to do with availability of what is available in the market. You understand? You understand the point? It has to do with what is available in the market, because if you look at it, at the end of the day, most of these solar panels,
Mm,
a 300-watt solar panel will have a particular square area. You understand?
mm,
A 500, what do we call it? A 500-watt solar panel will have a particular square area. You understand?
mm,
So at the end of the day, if you look at the area you need, the spacing you need when installing a 300-watt solar panel will be almost the same thing with the space needed for a 500 watt solar 500 watt solar panels, because the larger the higher the wattage, the larger the size. You understand? So unless if there is a if if one had, if 500 has a smaller, will occupy a smaller coverage area, obviously installation materials will be less. You understand? So if it is that way, you could say, okay, it has an economic advantage because installation materials will be less. But going by from experience, you understand, I know the normal 500 watts to be around 2 meter by 1 meter. That's the dimension. You understand? It's averagely that size. You understand? So if you go for the 250, you discover that the 250 will be like half that size. So at the end of the day, you discover that the space you'll be occupying by using 500 watts and 250 watts, 500 watts in 10 pieces, in 6 pieces, and 250 watts in 12 pieces, you discover that the space it will occupy will be almost the same. So I don't know if somebody has a contrary view anyway, but from my own, it's a Q&A session. It shouldn't just be a one-way thing. There are people that have experience here. I believe they should be able to tell us whether they had there are instances they've had advantages of using a bigger panel over a smaller panel, or a smaller panel over a bigger panel, in terms of achieving at the same capacity. Malayego, I don't know if you can give us, if there's any advantage, my brother, over of using 250 watts or 500 watts to achieve 3 kilowatts. I don't know if there's any advantage you've seen in the course of your experience in this field. Hello? Oh, Musti. Hello?
You have
Oh, Musti, can you give us? Yes.
said the main two things. One,
Mm. Okay. No. Why I'm actually opening the floor for others to chip in is maybe there's you cannot be a master of all. Maybe there's somebody that has come across somebody that has used, because I know, like myself, I have used 250, I have used 500. You understand? And I think in terms of installation materials, I doubt if you're using the smaller one uh, will save you the cost, or if using the big one will save you the cost. So I don't know if what is his name? Mustafa Tanimu. I don't know if you can, if you have actually, if you actually, you can actually, you have actually seen any difference that I have not seen anyway.
Hello, Engineer Vala.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I was also thinking, a thought just came to me now. You know, if you have like 10 pieces instead of
Yes, sir.
6 pieces, I
Yes,
think
sir.
you need more cables to connect, which is more of materials, like you said. But what about current losses? Does it have any? Can we relate that to current losses along the number of
No,
cables?
it all depends on if you're using an MPPT charge controller. You understand? If you're using an
Mm.
MPPT charge controller, you could actually connect them in series and have a high voltage to power the MPPT controller. So in that case, even if you're using a five, even if you're using six pieces of that, 650 or 500 to achieve your 3000, or you're using 12 pieces of, or you're using 12 pieces to achieve, you discover that it doesn't have any effect. And another thing is in terms of losses on cables. You understand? Just like you said, if you're using, obviously, if you're using a large size of it, definitely more quantity of cable is going to be involved, right? So most of the cables, the cables are actually, if you do a proper calculation, you understand. If you're doing a proper if you do a proper calculation of your to get your cable sizing, you will hardly encounter losses. And secondly, you hardly encounter losses if you do a proper cable calculation for cable sizing. You hardly encounter any loss. Then using an MPPT, you remember we talked about using, if you're going to use an MPPT controller, it MPPT has the advantage of making the voltage high and current lower. So mostly losses are associated to high current, you understand? So if you're using an MPPT controller, in both cases, you discover that the voltage is high, current is low. So as a result, loss is minimal. So each issue of loss is not something to this thing. It's not something significant if you actually do a proper cable calculation. So I don't know if it answers your question, Mr. Goshi.
Yes, it's clear. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome, sir.
uh, using the smaller size of panel, I
Yes, sir.
think even the labor, you be tired.
Okay,
But
so you see, that was why I said everybody should chip in. You understand? Because
connecting so many
we
panels, running so
will
many
get tired.
cables, joining here and there. But if it is, let's say, just 6 pieces, maybe within 1 hour you are done.
Good.
But
So you
connecting,
see,
let's say, 10 or 20 pieces, you see,
of smaller
may take
panels
you longer
is
time.
tedious and hectic. So that is it. You see, that is why I was asking. Honestly, I didn't view it from that angle, but you see, someone has answered it. Smaller panels. So, though Hela, you forgot something. In the process of lifting it, you understand. Lifting smaller panels is going to be easier for you since they are segmented into smaller parts. But lifting a heavier panel is actually going to be more tedious for you. But in terms of connection, tidying, if you're going to fasten, if you're using 500 watts, you only have 6 panels to fasten. But if you're using a smaller panels, you're going to fasten a lot more number of panels, which means more labor. So those are the things I wanted us all to brainstorm about. But the obvious the thing is this: if you happen to find yourself in a situation whereby you cannot place your hands on a large on bigger sizes of panel, and you lay your hands on a smaller wattage of solar panels, you have to make do with them. You understand? Availability is another thing that needs to be factored in. You understand? What is available is what is going to be what desirable. So that is it, please. I don't know if we've answered that question. So any other person?
And another thing is, if it comes to troubleshooting
Oh,
less number of panels is easier than when the panels are many.
excellent. Excellent. So all this, I'm liking the things that are coming in, honestly. So it's actually interactive. That's good. Thank you very much. So as the things keep coming in, please let's keep sharing them, because it helps a lot. You understand? A complex system, a complex subsystem, a system that comprises of multiple subsystems, a system that has many subsystems tends to be more complicated than a system that has fewer subsystems. That is from maintenance. What do we call it? Reliability and maintainability of systems. So it's actually what you have said is 100% correct. So I don't know. Any other question, or do we still have addition on that?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay, Mr. Simon.
So it's with regards to this BMS,
Okay,
battery
sir.
monitoring.
Okay, sir.
So assuming I have a lithium-ion battery that doesn't have it, can it be installed on it even after I have been using that battery?
Yeah, it can be installed. You understand? It can be installed. Lithium-ion BMS system can be installed on a lithium-ion battery. You understand? It can be installed. There are a lot of BMS available in the market. You understand? So you can just go get the BMS. You understand? First of all, you need to know the type of cells your battery comes with. You understand? If the battery comes with the lithium ion batteries come in 3.2 or 3.7, you understand, depending on the type of batteries, the cells. So you go to the market, you actually buy it, then it will be installed. The lithium ion will now be, the battery will now be opened, then the what do we call it, the BMS will be connected to each cells of the batteries here.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. So any other question? Okay, Barka, you can ask your question. I can see you raising your hand. Barka.
Sir, yes, sir. My question is as to regards to the cable length for
Okay,
ideally installation. Maybe 100 meters, 60 meters, like this our network issue on a network. When we want to install a network, the
network
maximum length
cables.
network cable is 100 meters.
Okay,
Is there a maximum length for the solar panels?
okay, okay, that's good. I like your question. Barka, concerning network cables, you understand? Concerning network cables, why they have a fixed length? Are you with me? Why the
Yes.
network cable has a fixed length is because the network cable, the Cat 6 or the Cat 5 cable, has a standard diameter. You understand? It has a standard diameter. That means a standard Cat 6 cable is supposed to be of so diameter, as you understand. That is the strand. So you hardly see variety in the market. Concerning solar panels, please. Concerning solar systems, voltage drop, voltage drop has to do with if you are going to take power to a long distance, you definitely need to know that you have to increase the diameter of the cable. You understand? Once the cable becomes very long, the voltage drop becomes high. You understand? You may be sending 24 volts at one end, then at the other end you'll be seeing 22 volts. That is a typical case of how what this voltage drop can do in DC systems. So what you do in this case is you increase the cable diameter. If you're using a 16 mm and it's giving you that, then obviously you know that you need to go higher. You understand? So every diameter of cable has its voltage drop per meter. You understand? So for solar systems, there are varieties of cable in the market. If you're going long distance, please know that you have to use a larger diameter of cable. Cat 6 cable, I know Cat 6 or Cat 5 cable, like you talked of network, are fixed cables. You understand? They are fixed cables. They are cables that have fixed diameters. You understand? So it means you can't what do you call it, you can't find another variety in the market. You understand? So that is why it has a standard that after so meter. And mind you, at Barca, voltage you're sending in a Cat 6 cable is also a standard. You understand? There is no variation in the voltage, although PO is okay. There are PO is power over Ethernet. So that is but the fact remains, the fact that network cables have fixed diameters, you can't play around with them. But for solar cable, you can increase the diameter in order to go longer distance. So that, I don't know whether it answers your question.
Yes, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you. So any other question?
Ego is raising his hand.
Ego, I can't. Okay, my chairman. I beg my chairman, ask your question. Hola, Ego. So,
He may be muted.
okay, sorry. Yeah, that's another thing. Let me unmute him. I'm trying to unmute him, but it's saying, no, he's muted, but I can't unmute him. I don't know.
I think only him can unmute himself.
Okay, so then, any other person? Sylvester Samson. I'm seeing Sylvester Samson. I'm seeing Jerry. I'm seeing Tanimu. So I don't know. You guys don't have any question?
So from my own idea, I'm okay.
Okay. Thank you. Ego raise his hand again. Ego. Hello, Ego. So, Alan Ego, I'm seeing you. Adam, did you raise your hand again?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
There's this installation we did yesterday.
Yes, sir.
So the inverter was not brand new. Maybe
Okay.
it has warranty. It was under warranty. They took it back to the company. So on the inverter,
yes,
when they put it to the site,
yes,
I saw what was written on the inverter. It's on an inscription written on a paper, a faulty MPPT.
okay, faulty MPPT written on it.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay.
So after the installation, we found out that the inverter is not charging.
Okay.
When you put the solar on it, it's
Okay.
not charging solar, and when you put NEPA or generator on it,
It
it's still
charges.
not.
It's still not charging.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So maybe the person that bought the inverter did not see what was written on the inverter.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So maybe this will give will give clues to some people that will buy inverters that are not new.
Okay. Okay. That's fine. It's a suggestion for us.
Yes,
Yeah. I thank you very much for the suggestion. Okay. So it was clearly stated that it was stated faulty stuff on it.
fault MPPT. It was an
Okay.
it was an hybrid inverter.
Okay. That's lovely. I've never seen that myself. So it's going to be a clue for me. Thank you for the contribution.
Okay, sir.
Ego has been raising his hand. So I don't know. Mala Ego? So, any other person? Okay, Simon, I'm seeing your hands up.
Yo. So I think I related this to you earlier, before
Yes,
now,
sir. Yes, sir.
but I thought maybe we can bring it here, and
Okay.
maybe people like Embarker have seen it.
Yes, sir.
There's this installation that I've seen. The
Okay.
inverter has a charger in it,
Okay.
and it's a Felicity inverter. You know, it has
Okay.
a solar charge controller all inbuilt in it.
Yes, sir.
But then beside it again, there is a solar charge controller, another Felicity solar charge controller. Do we have any idea of why we have a solar charge controller again being installed? Meanwhile, you have an inverter which has a solar charge controller. Maybe someone here will have a reason to that.
Okay. So, anyway, okay. So, you had an install. You said it's a hybrid inverter. Then it also has an external charge controller installed, right?
Exactly.
Good. So maybe you see, maybe the specifications on, these things are very simple, Oga Simon. Let me explain something to you. Assuming, solar system design could be solar system design. When designing a solar power system, you know what you want. I know, you understand. The person knows what he wants. Let's take, for example, he's somebody that is interested in a lot of power in the daytime, you understand, and at night he doesn't need much power. A typical example, like an office premises that needs a lot of power in the daytime, you understand, and don't need power. It could be possible that the inbuilt solar charge controller on that inverter cannot deliver what he wants in the daytime. You understand my point? So he could decide to add an additional charge controller. Let's take, for example, the inverter comes with a 60 amps charge controller, while I could need, okay, let me do it this way. If I want to power, I need power within a short period of time. I need high power within a short period of time. In the daytime, I need something that should be able to power a high power gadget, you understand? Of which, let's take, for example, I want to power a 1000 watts or 2000 watts gadget, you understand? And the inbuilt solar controller that this inverter came with can only deliver 1005. You understand my point? Definitely the inverter system may be able to give me powered what I need, but the inbuilt power controller it came with is not sufficient to give me what I want. I could as well now say, okay, let me install another inverter, another charge controller, so that with a different string of its own panel. Take note of that, please. It will definitely have to be on a different string of solar panel. Then the one coming to the inverter will be a different string of solar inverter. You understand? So that is what I feel could be possible. You understand? That is what I feel could be happening there, unless maybe there is another reason. You understand? It could be Kuma, the person, a lot of engineers, maybe he doesn't even know there's an inbuilt solar controller in the inverter. He went further to buy his own solar charge controller to add to the system. It could be as a result of ignorance. It could be as a result of he needs more power delivered. You understand? So I don't know if it answers your question, Simon.
It has. It's actually
It
in our
has.
office.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I think I think it could be
Sorry,
a peculiar. Yours could be a peculiar case.
Yes, and that was why I was saying maybe
yeah, in
Barca here must have seen it.
Okay, it could be a peculiar case. So Tanimu, is
Yeah.
like you wanted to talk.
Thank you.
yeah, in addition to what you've just
Yes, sir.
explained, I think yeah, the way you said is maybe is an ignorant issue. Maybe some people most of the times these hybrid inverters
Yeah.
there are ranges. The way you said, each inverter comes with its own MPP charge controller inside
Mm.
the inverter, so it has ranges. So if somebody did not know how to connect that
You may
particular
not get the result
hybrid
from that.
inverter. Exactly. So because
And
like a Felicity inverter, some
Mm.
it has to be minimum voltage for the
Good.
charge controller to pick up its 120.
Mhm.
So he might be connecting the wrong panel. He might have a plentiful of panel, but for him to achieve that 120 is a problem to him. So he
Good.
will continue connecting and it will not give him what he wants. So he rather say, okay, this
Let me buy
inverter,
a
the charge controller has a problem. Let's buy an external charge controller.
controller. Good.
So
So
that might
Simon,
be the reason
Simon,
again.
you've had another point of view. You understand? So that is why
Exactly.
so if you don't know how to make it work, you have to go with the
Yeah,
one you are used to. You
you used
understand?
to. Yeah, exactly. That is the point in summary.
That is, that is
And it might be faulty. Yeah.
it. Yeah. So
Yeah, yeah,
any
yeah, I think so.
all could work. So
Yeah.
that's fine. Any other person and with questions? Today is a Q&A session. Well,
I have seen the picture of this type of connection in one of the, is it Norwegian refugee center, I think in around Izibama also.
yes, sir.
So I was thinking they are connecting a string to each Felicity charge controller
Hmm.
because they had so many panels out on the roof. So I was
Yes,
thinking each string is being taken to a particular charge controller, then to the inverter.
yes, sir. Okay. Okay, Hela. If I can get it right, you see, if you have a 48 volt system, you understand? Because I think what you shared the picture with me. So if you have a 48 volt system, the best way to go about this 48, if you have a 48 volt system, and if it's you're using a lead acid battery of 12 volts, you know that you have to pair your batteries. You have to string your batteries in four. You understand? In force. Even if you have 20 batteries, 40 batteries, you have to string them in four since it's a 48 volt system. You understand? That's one. So the best approach to these things is string your batteries into four, have a major positive and a negative bus bar. Please take note of this. You have a positive and a negative bus bar where all those batteries that are string in force will meet, positive and negative. They've already meet at the bus bar. Then that means at the bus bar we have a common 48 positive and 48 negative. You understand? Then the next thing you're going to be doing is your solar panels. It's also wise if what do we call them? The controllers we have in the market are actually rated in 100 amps, 120, 80. You understand? So each of these solar charge controllers have a maximum number of solar panels they can accommodate. You understand? So if you want to deliver a lot of power, you want to deliver 50 kilowatts, you understand? And you're using a 48 volt system. Obviously, you should know that I will need to string these things into if I have a 48 volt charge control, 48 volt system, obviously I'm going to use a 48 volt charge controller. If I'm going to use a 100 amps controller, I know a 100 amps controller can only take 5 kilowatts. So it means I have to group my solar panels into 5 kilowatts. You understand? If I group them into 5 kilowatts to each charge controller, then they will all come and inject into the battery bus bar. Remember, at the battery bus bar, you have all these batteries connected there. So anything you know, it's DC we're talking about. DC, that's one good thing about DC is if you join them, they don't need to be synchronized for them to flow. You understand? Not like AC. You know, AC, you cannot join AC two phase together to get to add power. It's not possible. But in DC, if you parallel them, you add power, and they don't need to be synchronized. That's the advantage. So once you bring them in, you join them on that bus bar. Each of those solar strings will be bringing in power to the bus bar, and from the bus bar, whatever you have connected on the bus bar will take what it needs. If it's the battery, it will take what it needs. If they are inverters, they will take what they need. So I don't know if it's very clear, Ella.
Perfect, Vala.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
You're welcome. So any other
Please,
question?
I need a little clarification on the scenario Mr. Simon talked about, that having a hybrid inverter and another external charge controller. So if the charge controller in the inverter is functional and you add another one external, doesn't it it works fine? Doesn't it have any effect on the system?
Okay, that's good. I like your question. Just like I said earlier to Hela, if the battery, if the solar, sorry, the inverter has 60 amps charge controller, right? 60, let's say for example, the inverter has a 60 amps charge controller. I'm not being specific on Simon's own case. You understand? You know, your own case, your own question is you need clarification whether it will have an effect or it doesn't. It won't. So if, for example, I have an inverter that came with a 60 amps controller, 60 amps, I think 60 amps controller on a 48 volt system can only deliver 3 kilowatts of solar panels. It can only accommodate 3 kilowatts of solar panels. You understand? So, and I don't know if you understand, and I need 5 kilowatts. You understand? Obviously, I can go to the market. I will arrange the 3 kilowatts of solar panel and give the hybrid inverter. It will be working. But you know, definitely it's not sufficient for me. You understand? So I can go now, build additional 2 kilowatts by the side, get another controller. It is not going to go through the inverter now. It is going to go to the battery where the battery bus bar is. You understand? So what it means now there is I have sufficient power. You know, one thing about DC is, like I said, is it can be synchronized. You understand? And DC current, in your inverter can only take what it needs. I don't know if you understand. Even if excess current is available, if it doesn't need it, it will not take it. It will just be there floating. I don't know if you understand. It will only take when it needs. So there's not going to be any effect, you understand? And if your battery is a battery that has its battery monitoring system, you understand, like a lithium ion, it will take what it needs to charge it. Once it is filled up, it doesn't take again. It will just be idle. You understand my point? So it doesn't have any effect, Mr. Isa. You could use that to achieve a higher capacity when needed. Is it clear?
Okay. Yes, clear. Thank you for the clarification.
You're welcome. Or does anyone has another addition? Barka, you're raising your hand. Okay, Malayago is here. I've been trying to reach you, my chairman.
I've been with you guys all this while, but I've been jumped some setup, so it was not allowing me to unmute myself. So I had to go back to Google and click on accept whenever using the app and all that.
I understand.
Good evening, brothers.
Evening, sir.
Yeah,
Good evening,
I've been with you
welcome.
guys with thank you, Mr. Goshi.
Good evening, Oga.
Starting from the panel sizing, whether 600 or 300 watts, all the conversation, I've been picking them all this way. So I really appreciate
Yes,
the
sir.
knowledge we share here and the time we make out to interact with each other.
Yes, sir.
No
Thank you.
knowledge is actually a waste. We are all professional, but we keep learning every day.
Yes, sir.
So concerning all these contributions, the solution or the answers has been listed, but there are so many, well, I say more explanations to stuffs. Let me put my own contribution starting from the sizing of panel. For
Good.
me, especially any installation I want to do, my first point of consideration is the size of the roof and the type of the roof, what it can contain. You understand? If it's a roof that is wider, that means you have enough wider surface area to play with. You understand? So since if you have enough wider area to play with, I always go with the higher capacity, which is the half court, 500 and upwards,
That's lovely.
because it makes the work more compact and more neat. And one of
Yes.
our brothers too mentioned it. It makes the connection more easier. You have lesser panels to connect.
Yeah.
So with lesser number of panels, you're reducing your headache and worries and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So that has to do with that. We discussed about cable sizing to the length of a cable that you shouldn't exceed and all that. And I
Yeah.
heard your explanation too, Malam Vala, when you were trying to differentiate between communication cable and normal DC cable and all that.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you hardly see a site you go to that will be more than 100 meters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's just what saves us from that actual problem of the longer the distance, the lower the current we get at the end of the day. So
Yes, sir.
concerning the conversation of having an inverter that is a hybrid inverter and having external
Charge control.
additional charge controller, yeah, scenarios like that do happen too, because at times you might see some clients that have an existing system and they want to upgrade. And maybe you're being called and the initial installer there maybe use 180 watts panel. And you can't bring yourself down using 180, you might suggest 300 or higher. So the client will be like, I go throw away the old one. You understand? Yeah. So
Yes. Yes.
you can still introduce your own
Yeah.
system, like your own charge controller and your own panel. Still link it up to the same battery bank. All
Yeah.
of them will be feeding, because I noticed this thing, it works like a non-return valve. Current flows from outside to inside and not the other way around. So whatever each panel is generating, the charge controller is harnessing it and is giving it to the battery.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's just my own experience on that aspect, and so that's just it.
That's lovely, Ego. That's lovely.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the addition. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, I think the diodes of on the panels
Yeah.
is what serve as that no return valve he's talking about.
Yes. Yeah.
It
It's
can only
actually
send current in one direction.
honestly, there are yeah, he has said it. There are diodes behind there are diodes. Okay, Hella left the meeting. There are diodes behind it. There are diodes behind your solar panels. They actually allow current to flow in one direction. So if that is why you see your current only flows in one direction. So that's fine, Ego. Thank you very much for the contribution.
So
So
thank you, sir.
Adam Barka, you're raising your hand. Hello, Barka. Barka, I can't hear you. I can hardly hear you. We can hardly hear you. Uh-oh, Barka. We can hardly hear you. You were clear before. What happened? So I'll mute him. Maybe when he becomes clearer. So please, any other question? We are still in the session of Q&A. We are brainstorming widely so that I'm learning. Honestly, I won't lie to you. I'm learning. So we are also learning. So I need the questions to be coming in. Okay. Musti, you raised your hand. Can we have your
Yeah.
question? Okay, that's fine.
Okay. My question here is this the problem we are having with this Canadian whatsoever second-hand panels. So
Okay.
the issue here is sometimes you need to find out that the actual panel, the rated power on the panel is not what is written on that very sticker.
Okay.
So it's one of the reasons, one of the factors that rise to failure of a system. Because
Yeah.
sometimes from based on experience, there's one time I need to fix a solar system for someone. So when he now go to the market and see the panel, so he now took the picture of the sticker and sent it to me. I now saw
Yes.
350, and it was like
Yes.
it was like polycrystalline panel. So he
Yeah.
now sent it to me. So I now say,
Yes, sir.
this one the road Canadian panel. I don't think it's the actual capacity there. So when
Mm.
I get there, I now I now remove that very sticker on it. What I now saw behind that sticker, it was 225 watts. After all, it's written
And initially they were saying it's 350.
it was 350 on that sticker, that silver Canadian panel written there. So
Yeah.
I don't know how to come about this thing. So some people always, so now if you have finished your calculation that this
Mm.
350 can serve what you need. So you see at the end of the day,
You'll be
you
having
find a difference.
shortages.
Yes, exactly. So the system will be
Okay.
failing and you won't know the where is the actual the problem is. So and secondly, using this DC tester for you to
Mm.
test the capacity of the actual watt of a panel. Sometimes
Yeah.
whenever you test it with a meter, wow, you find out there's a gap. You find out a 300-watt panel when you test it. Sometimes you hardly find 250 watt there. Sometimes it's 180, 200. It depends on the company of the panel rather. So I don't know how to come about this issue seriously. It has been bothering me for long, but how can we? There's nothing we can do about it. So I now say, let me channel
No,
it to the proper
no,
position.
there's something we can do, Musti. That's why we are here. You
Okay,
understand?
okay,
There's something we can do. You see, that's why no human being is an island of knowledge. You understand?
yeah,
That is why we are here. We're all here. We discuss about these things. All what is the essence of us gathering here is for us to know, to help each other. You understand? This is a so I understand your question. You see, number one, if you're buying a second-hand panel, please, you need to be very careful. It's not like they are not good. They are good. They're exceptional. Some of them are exceptional. In fact, I have had second-hand panels that is rated 250 watts. Originally rated 250 watts. You understand? But that panel gave me more than 300 watts. So don't. So that is not that. So we cannot say second-hand panels are bad. No. Number one, when buying second-hand panels, basically there are things you need to look at, Musti. uh Panels have generations, you understand. Panels have generation. If you look at a mono or a polycrystalline, you look at a particular cell, you understand. If you look at a particular cell, a cell is a building block for of a solar panel. Look at a particular cell, look at how many lines it has, you understand. Are you with me, Musti?
yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you.
The number of lines it has tells you of how long. The older panels have fewer lines on them. You understand? Those lines are actually bus bars. You understand? Tiny bus bars. So the number of lines on those solar panels will tell you how long the generation the panel belongs to. You understand? If the panel has fewer lines, it tells you that it's an older panel. Parcel, I know what I'm telling you. It's not you take a look at one cell. You see tiny lines on them. How many lines does it have? If it has 4, 5, it means it's somehow a latest panel. If it has 3, 4, 5, it tells you that it is somehow a latest panel. But if it has few, some Ma don't even have, like some Mono don't even have, it is telling you that it is an, if it's a second-hand panel, know that it is an older generation of panel, please. That is what I want you to know from today. So that's one. That is one. Secondly, you look at the intensity of the sun, you understand? You now face that panel to the sun. Are you with me? If you face that panel to the sun, you now take your, there's a short circuit test. You need, that is why you need a clamp meter. You understand? There's a short circuit test, or there is an MPPT meter. Please look for it on AliExpress. If you are somebody that is wants to get the best out of your solar panels, please, there's an MPPT meter. The MPPT meter comes with this what is the name of this connector we call on solar panels? I've forgotten the name of those connectors. It comes with that type of connector. You connect it to your solar panels. Once you connect it, it tells you the actual power coming out from that panel. That's what the MPPT does. For the clamp meter, you can do a short circuit test and clamp the current. You understand? If the panel is rated 8 amps maximum, once you clamp it and you're seeing 7, my brother, you know that is good. You understand my point? And the sun is high. The intensity of the sun is high. Once you clamp it, you're seeing, in fact, if it's rated 8 and you're seeing 6, and the voltage, first thing first, measure the voltage. If the voltage certifies what is written on the sticker, you understand? Fine. Then the next thing, or if it certifies, we all know that 250 watts mostly come in 37 volts to 40 volts. You understand? You should, over time, you should be able to know all these things. So if you are able to measure the voltage, even if forget about sticker, let me not even use sticker. You understand? If it is rated 250 watts, okay, it is now to you. You should know that if it should be able to give you 37 to 40 volts. If you get that voltage, you know, voltage, you use a voltmeter to measure it. Then the next thing is you should a short circuit test. If you short circuit it, that is the essence of the diode that Hela was talking about. You know, the short circuit, the diode helps in when you do carry out short circuit test. It doesn't allow the current to flow and burn the cells. So you shouldn't panic about short circuiting test. You understand? So when you want to do a short circuit test, you connect the female and male connector together. When you connect the male and female together, you now clamp the current, but just make it immediately. You clamp it. Once it is, you are seeing 8 or 7 amps, you understand, and you multiply by the voltage you get. Is it near enough the rated power? If it's near enough the rated power, you know that yes, the panel is correct. So I don't know if this answers your question. Please, concerning second-hand panels, the age matters, because you could buy a panel that is at the end of its lifespan. That is why you need to look at those lines I'm telling you about, the bus bars. I will share it, please. Please, I will share those things on the platform tomorrow so that you can see the lines on that tells much about the generation of the solar panel. You understand? A panel that has a lot of those bus bars will perform better than the ones that have fewer lines. So please, you should know that it tells you the generation of the panel. It tells you the lifespan of the age of the panel. Some panels even come with the date of manufacture on them. You understand? If you are lucky to see the original sticker, if you see an original sticker on a used panel, you should know. You understand? The original stickers will definitely but once you see a new sticker, it should be questionable, because that panel has worked under the sun. And why is the sticker still new? You understand? That is enough reason to give you a doubt that the sticker does not actually carry the rated power. You understand? Where in Nigeria, a lot of things happen. You understand? So one, if the sticker is new, it's a red flag. You should know that obviously that sticker there is not the sticker that the panel came with, since the panel is a used panel. You understand? So those are some of the things, please. But used panels are good panels. In fact, some are even better than the new ones. Some new ones, after a year, you discover that the solar panel, what do we call it? The cells, actually, the frames start scattering. The gums the gum starts disintegrating. So, but the Belgium panels, some of them are bad. In fact, some of them have. In fact, even from the weight, you understand, you could know that some are very good. Some are better than the so-called new ones. So I don't know if it answers your question or you have more questions, Musti.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Please, that is it. You could actually measure it, please. You can actually measure the solar panels. And no, you know, our own, the way we do business is you why are you measuring it, all these things? If somebody knows what he's selling, if you say you want to measure it, he doesn't have, he shouldn't, you understand, you should be able to measure what you're buying. If not, you always have these issues of losses. You'll be sure you have shortages in your design, and once you have shortages, you know, it's a recipe for failure, because you told the client you're going to deliver this, and once you are not getting, you know what it means, honestly. So that is it. I don't know if there's any question, Musti, or any other person.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Thank you, Musti.
Okay.
Any other question? Any other person with a question? Okay, Simon. Mr. Simon, it's like you're raising your hand.
Okay, I just unmuted. Actually, thank you, Musti, for bringing that up. It's actually an eye opener to us. Sincerely, I think it's high time, if you go to buy panel, if they're fairly used, just peel up that sticker and check. Or look at it very well. If it's a new one, just know that there's something wrong with
You
it.
know, yeah, if the sticker looks new compared to the age of the panel, you understand.
At all.
So the old sticker should be there.
Yeah.
Thanks for your explanation,
Yes, boss.
Madam Vala. Based on my own experience concerning these panels, you know, majority of them, most are they are imported
Yes, sir.
panels, and due to the fact that Canadian is already having a name, most of them prefer using Canadian sticker
Yeah.
to sell their product.
Yes.
You
I
understand? Madam Vala, you know, we encountered this challenge in one site, you know.
Yes, sir.
You understand? We made more findings, and along that findings, we witnessed that some ranges of panel has a specific diameter or dimension, rather.
Yes.
So when you want to go and buy a panel, there is a panel that will bring out naturally, you know, it's not up to 300.
Honestly, straight up, even from diameter.
Yeah.
From
the
dimension.
diameter, you know that it's not up to 300.
So Musti,
me,
I hope you are getting it, please. You should also take note of dimensions. You understand?
Yeah,
the dimension.
I'm getting it. I'm getting it.
A 220 watts can be the same dimension with 300. There will be difference.
Correct.
There will be different in it. Yeah. Though at times monocrystalline are a bit smaller than poly.
Yes.
To my own observation, they are
Sure,
smaller.
true.
Yeah, and another thing I observed too, the two rating of panels I normally use are 300 or 550. Some will call that 550, 600. Some truthful ones will call that 600, 500. But the truth about it is that when you come to these two wattage of panel I mentioned to you, the 300, they have 60 cells and 72 cells.
Yeah, correct.
You will never notice when it comes to the pricing. You understand? They will tell you, so okay, this one is 60,000, this one is 52,000. There is a difference. And when it comes to that from 500 above, that's the way me I rate it. They have 120 cells and 144 cells.
Correct, confirm.
Both of them are of different prices.
Yes.
But when you come to a customer that know that you're naive about, and so most of them doesn't even know. Their own not to buy products, sell. So when you come, okay, this one is 600, most of them are 500.
Honestly,
so
600 watts panels are hard to get in the market.
Hard to get in the market. Highest you can see is 540 or 550. 550. And that 550 you will see is exactly is 144 cells. If you see, they are taller.
Yeah, exactly.
Than those 120 cells, and their prices are higher.
So Musti, number of cells is another thing.
I hope you are getting it. Whenever I want to make procurement.
So number of cells matter a lot. You understand? To me, I even see these cells of a thing, ego, as they are just using it to cover up. You understand? If you know what you want, you understand. Like Ego rightly said, if you're going for 144 cells, you understand, and they call it to you and they tell you that it's 550, you should know that you're getting your 550 as long as the cells are what do we call it, 144. The other one is 120. If they call that 120, you understand, you should know that it's either 500 or 450 you're buying. You understand? So you should,
Exactly.
those cells tell a lot about these panels, please. You should be able to know the number of cells. They tell a lot about these panels, you understand? So those are some of the things you can do a lot of research online on these things. You will add a lot of knowledge. But one number, the basic things, dimension, please. You should know that 300 watts should be up to this by this. If it's more, fine, you understand. If it's less, or if it's less, maybe few inches, you could accept it, because producers or the manufacturers are different. But if the difference is much, bros, you're underbuying the panel. Know that you have not achieved what you want to buy. So that is the beginning of your problems. So that is it, Musti. I hope you are getting it right.
Yeah, I got it. I got it. But if I may suggest, please, can we make this discussion a particular day for it? Maybe we find a day we discuss our views, because this is just a question and answer session. Is that not so?
Okay, you want a video of it,
Yeah,
right?
not even a video, a proper lecture
Okay,
on this
understanding
very.
of, okay,
Yeah, yeah,
how these panels look
yes,
like. Okay, okay,
yes,
okay, no problem.
exactly.
Okay,
Yeah, I
what I
think.
will do, is, I think mostly what will I will do is, next week we could start with it. You understand? We could I will get pictures of these cells we're talking about, these bus bars we're talking about, these dimensions we're talking about, so that you understand what we're saying. You understand?
Yeah, yeah. Because I think from that we can achieve. We can know our panel efficiency from that.
Yes, it's very
Yeah,
important. Honestly,
yeah,
it's very important,
exactly.
because you
The
finish
panel.
installing panel, you will see amps is not coming. The amp, the current coming down is not giving you what you keep
What?
wondering. You keep eating. You understand? So at the end of the day, you don't know that you have actually undersized the system. The system is undersized.
Yes,
So I
yes,
think
that's
so. That is it.
it's all right. It's all right. Thank you for the explanation.
It's fine. Well done. So
Thank you, sir.
What are we? Any other question? Hela, no question today.
No question.
Hela, okay, that's lovely. Mr. Simon, Mr. Jerry, all no additional question.
No question. It's like this 1 hour self no go do us next time.
No, next time. No. It's actually, you see, that's the good thing about, honestly, I think this timing is good, because I can see people tend to be calm, the environment tends to be quiet, you understand? So I think it's a good time, honestly.
Yeah, engineer, good evening, everyone.
Evening, Mr. Jerry. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. I've been online, following
Okay.
up, so not fully. As you know, the timing is actually a good timing, and so
Yes, sir.
many engagement is connected to the time. So just bear with me.
Okay. No
Yeah,
problem.
I will say everything is okay because I don't even have a question to ask. So maybe subsequently I'll find a way of adjusting my schedules and
Okay,
yes,
that's good.
pay fully attention to the meeting.
That's fine.
So
That's fine. Thank you. That's
thank you
fine.
for the contributions.
You're welcome, sir. Well, Mr. Goshi, any question?
No, I think for today I'm okay for now, sir. Thank you.
Oh, okay, that's lovely. So, Malayego, maybe there's an additional word from your side. Any AOB, any other business? If there's any.
My God, the top. You have said it all. You have said it all. We're enjoying your passion and your energy. You
Thank you very
understand?
much, sir.
Your
Thank you, sir.
your reward go there for earth. You know, go reach heaven, no. But if heaven come, in additional. So you understand. So
Well,
we're enjoying. We are
we
learning.
thank God,
We are
Ego.
learning.
We thank God.
There will never be a perfect time. So with this evening section, it's just about making it a priority and adjusting.
That is it, yeah.
You understand? It's okay. The time is still okay. Since the majority went for it, I'm still okay with it.
It's fine,
So
Ego.
just like Mr. Mustafa said, concerning this panel of a thing, we'll start with it. We'll try to make out more time to put
sir.
individual inputs and experiences.
Yes, sir. Yes.
You understand? Because one thing I've noticed about all this trading in the market, especially this Felicity, you understand, most of their rating or their inscription on their stickers are no longer, the items are not up to that.
That's just the gospel truth.
If you're buying 100 amps charge controller, just know that the maximum you can get is around 75, 80.
Honestly.
If you're going for 80, know that the maximum you can get is around 60, 65.
Honestly, no, true.
So that's just the gospel
But
truth.
this experience can only be gotten from the fields.
So that it has to do with panels too. Those ratings are at the back at the will I say the maximum or the
You can't get
optimum. You can't get up to them. Just like you said, if you're seeing 8 amps and you're generating like 6 or even 5, is
You're
a
okay,
fair it's fair enough.
It's fair enough.
But maybe by next week when we'll talk more, we'll put more inputs on that.
That's fine, Ego. Thank you.
Thanks for your time, sir. Yeah.
Thank you. So, in the absence of any question, I think
I beg before we go.
Okay.
Felicity.
Yeah.
Which country produces Felicity?
All these things they are produced in China.
They are produced in China. Then
all of them are China.
Okay.
Now where they get cheap labor. So that's the only country you can produce and sell in Africa.
I'm very sure some of their products are not sold in US.
Yeah, well, exactly. Then you know go see those kind of countries. Now Africa with their target markets. Now why you go see so many things? There is a product now called Choice.
Africa.
If you see Choice and Felicity, they are the same thing,
you cannot differentiate
everything. You can't differentiate if they cover the name.
Honestly,
that's
Choice.
The kind of thing
but me, you see, I like Felicity. Like their inverters, mostly. You understand? You know, I like their inverter. It has a lot of protection, Ego. You understand a lot.
Exactly.
That's one good thing. A lot of protection. So it's an inverter that if you install for a client, you can go and sleep. Because even if anything hazardous happen, you understand, I give you the assurance that once it carries an alarm, it picks alarm. If you off it and on it, and that fault is not there, it's cleared, and your inverter continues work. There's an inverter we bought, 10 kVA. We used it for one project, SMS hybrid inverter. I think what they did was they just fed AC, backfed AC. As I'm talking to you, that inverter, all the board, everything don't burn. You understand? Everything went bad in that inverter. So those are the protections that Felicity has that make me to like it. You understand? And another thing is this advantage it has that you can cascade, you can parallel a lot of inverters to achieve high capacity. It's also another good thing with Felicity.
And they are user friendly too.
Very user friendly. Yeah. Simon can testify to that now. We understand. Adjustment, you can make a lot of adjustment to last week we were on remote assistance with him. He was making adjustments and he got what he wanted, you understand? That's just the good thing about Felicity.
No, their products are good. I'm not disputing that. But what I'm saying that most of their ratings are low. They are 10 kilowatt is 7.5.
So no, it's true. Ego is talking out of experience, honestly.
I have Eastman for sale.
Yeah, well, 2 kVA back and 12 volts. Okay.
Maybe we'll be creating some section for adverts.
We'll create for section for adverts.
With Felicity.
That's at the same time. Advert placement.
Yeah, thank you guys.
I don't graduate with Felicity.
Thank you. Tanim, Musti, you're raising your hand?
Yeah, I just maybe I might say, please, when you are trying to prepare the stuff for the panel issue, please maybe you include the angle of inclination of a panel. Because sometimes I see a very high roof that maybe your panel will be at maybe 30 degrees. Sometimes you find
No, no, no.
a roof.
I think we talked about that one time, but no problem. I think we'll next week we're going to be talking.
We had a session in the former regime. In the
Okay,
the former regime, we had a session on that.
Yes,
Maybe
he wasn't with us.
talk about that again.
Yeah.
Okay, it was no problem. I think what we'll be doing next week is basically solar panels.
Okay.
You understand? We're going to be doing basically solar panels, installation types, all that concerns solar panel is what we'll be doing. So when we come to that, Musti, I think you'll get a clearer picture of all these things.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
very much.
So, my guys, I wish you a wonderful night rest too.
Who sing
Alright,
the
now.
all national anthem for us before we go?
The new one or the old one?
Both this is Nigeria for us.
Everything
But
to
both are accepted. Yes, everything.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Take
Take care, sir.
everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Bye bye. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.